Sadhguru, one question on karma.
Oh, she's…
So, can good karma cancel out bad karma? And
what did you do today?
I'm asking for humanity, not for myself. And is our life predestined, or can we change it by karma? And what is good karma?
So let's understand this word. I know this has become part of English lexicon. Oh, karma is an English word now. The word karma means action. As you sit here, there is physical action going on, there is mental action going on, emotional activity going on, energy activity going on in every one of us. Whether you're awake or asleep, 4 dimensions of karma are happening all the time. Since you woke up today morning, except for that bad karma you did. No, you don't have to reveal that. Since you woke up today morning till this moment, just a few hours, how much of these 4 dimensions of karma did you perform consciously?
Should I answer? I was not conscious while performing my actions, they just happened.
I'm saying for almost every human being is well below 1%. If you take in a day, well below 1%. So when 99% of your actions are accidental or unconscious, you do one thing, you just drive here. Here the traffic is very slow, it's safe to try this experiment. 99% of the time, just close your eyes and simply sit like this. Once in a way, handle the steering. Let's see where you will be in 5 minutes. This is a disaster of human life. So you must understand this. This is the most profound dimension of Eastern cultures, that we told you your life is your karma. This means your life is your making. There is no manager sitting… I'm not talking about you guys. There's no manager sitting up there and managing you. Your life is your karma. The way you do it is the way it happens. There is no other way. Only because over 99% is happening unconsciously, it looks like some other force is manipulating you. All bad drivers are like this. When they get into some kind of a crash, I was driving properly only, something happened. Have you heard this? Something happened, something supernatural happened and I crashed my car. No, you're just a dumb driver. So the same thing goes for life. The same thing goes for life, that we constantly reminded you. Now in this generation, it's lost in probably maybe your mother or let's say your grandmother's generation. If they sit down, stood up, they say karma, prarabdha, mukti, moksha. These are proper day-to-day conversation, not spiritual conversation. Yes or no? Every day. It's time you bring it back, because karma means you're reminding yourself, everything that I'm doing and not doing is my fundamental responsibility. If you ask me, people have been asking, I have not articulated this till recently, but some people have been asking me, so I'm these days talking to them and I'm saying, what is the mission? They ask me. I say, the mission is just this, religion to responsibility. You think it is there, no, it's here. This is what karma means, that you understand you're the source of your life. Is there no other force working in the universe? Yes, it is. But even to harness this, harness that is your business, isn't it? Hello? Even to harness that is your business, otherwise what's the point? So karma means your life is your making. There is nothing else that can decide. If you take charge of your body, let's say you have some mastery over your physical body, 15 to 20% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. If you take charge of your mental process, 50 to 60% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. If you take charge of your basic life energy into your hands, 100% of your life and destiny will be in your hands. Every young person must first explore this dimension before you step out into the world and mess other people. Yes, very important. But what is the fix for the morning's bad karma? You must understand, karma is not like reward and punishment system. It is just residual memory within yourself. Everything, every thought, every emotion, every action, every moment that you do, in some way is recorded into this. This memory creates a tendency for you because so much memory is gathered, naturally, it's like software, you're writing unconscious software every moment. See, if you walk from here to here, I'm telling you, there are at least 25 different kinds of smells. You're not conscious unless something is very strong, acute, in some way, in a positive or negative way, then you will notice, otherwise you're not noticing. You will see if a dog passes, he's just figuring out you, what you have done, what you have not done, your good karma, bad karma, everything is just figuring out. Yes or no? You also are conscious, your system also is perceiving it because your neurological system is far more superior to the dog's neurological system. Do you agree with me? Hello? Dog lovers, is it okay? Human neurological system is far more advanced than any other creature, you also capable. But because of cerebral activity, you're missing it. You do one thing, just go live in the jungle for some time, you will see suddenly your sense of smell. You just know everything just by raising your nose a little bit, sticking your nose out, you just know what's coming, what's going. You will see in the villages in India, they'll say it's going to rain today, you understand? Nothing, no sign of rain, no cloud, no nothing. He'll simply… and he'll say it's going to rain today, and it will, because the changes are happening in the atmosphere. So, because of this unconscious nature, if you walk from here to here, these 25 smells, for example, are all recorded in the system. And all like this, visual inputs, audio inputs, everything is recorded. Depending upon the type of material you've taken in, slowly you will develop an unconscious tendency. Suddenly you'll like this, not something else, because of the kind of inputs you have taken in. These tendencies, traditionally, because you're from the scripture, traditionally we call this vasanas. Vasana is a very good expression because vasana literally means smell. So, depending upon the type of smell, accordingly you draw that type of life towards you or you move in that direction, that's what they're trying to say. But this is essentially, to put it in modern terminology, you're building an unconscious software, so naturally it begins to function in a certain way. It doesn't matter what is the software, can you rewrite it? Of course you can. That is also your karma. So will you allow unconscious activity that you have performed to rule the nature and destiny of your life, or will you make sure it is the conscious activity that you perform which will rule the destiny of your life? This is something you have to decide.
Personal, I appreciate that we need people we meant to meet, or is it a destiny, luck or fate?
Have you just fallen in love with someone? Huh? No, because I don't want to disturb the romance. See, look at it this way. Since you woke up today morning, till this moment, let's leave the sleeping time. Since you came awake fully, from that moment to this moment, your body has been doing its things, isn't it so? Physical activity is happening, both outwardly and inwardly, happening or no? That's why we're alive, it's happening. Mental activity has been happening, emotional activity is happening, energy activity is happening. How much of these four dimensions of activity did you perform consciously from the moment you came awake till now? How much do you think? What percentage? What percentage? Well below 1%, believe me. When you perform activity consciously, less than 1%, over 99% is unconscious. Everything will look accidental, isn't it? Everything looks like divine intervention. Because 99% of the time you're unconscious. Do one thing. When you drive today to wherever you drive, 99% of the time, close your eyes and drive. You will see how many people you will meet. But if you drive with your eyes open, fully conscious, you're not going to meet anybody like this at the bank. Things will happen in a completely different way. How conscious we are will determine how much of your destiny you determine. How unconscious you are determines how much of your destiny is accidental. Everything that's accidental, we want to attribute it to some other force elsewhere. Now this must stop. We must understand, it is we. Is there no other force? Of course, you didn't make the creation, nor did I, all right? You did not create this creation, nor did I create this creation. There is, but that is a different dimension altogether. And what is happening with you right now is entirely your making. From where you come from in India, is the only culture on the planet which constantly told you, your life is your karma. Karma means you're doing. Your life is your making. Whatever may be happening, you may be able to logically figure out why it is so, you may not be able to figure out, but still you know one thing, if this is happening to me, this is my making. This is the greatest empowerment you can have, when you understand, my life is my making. Whatever happened till now, it doesn't matter. How will you make your tomorrow? I'm asking you. If you clearly know 100%, my life is my making, how will you make the next moment? How will you make a tomorrow? How will you make your future? In the most beautiful way, isn't it so? That's what needs to happen.
Namaskaram, Sadhguruji. The first question that I want to ask is actually related to me. I'm in the last year of engineering, so now there is a very big decision that I have to make now, and people have told me that if I take decisions from my heart, I'll be successful in life. So, but there lies a problem. The problem is that I don't know which thought is coming from my heart and which thought is coming from my brain. So how can I figure out like which thought is from my heart and which is coming from my brain?
The heart makes only two sounds, lub-dub. Unless the local girls are disturbing it and it's going crazy. Otherwise it makes only two sounds. Rest of the noise is all coming from your head. This idea that something comes from the heart, something comes from the brain, it's metaphoric, but unfortunately a whole lot of people are taking it literally. There was a time in many parts of the world, particularly in Arabia, the medical science in Arabia believed the blood is pumped from the liver. You might have heard Urdu sayings about Kalija, have you? Because they believed blood is being pumped from the liver, because liver is a far more complicated organ than the heart. Heart is a simple pump. So do not give it any more responsibilities other than continuously pumping the blood and keeping you alive, unless somebody here breaks it. So, about the last year of engineering, I want you to change that language because this happened. Can I tell you a joke? It's okay?
Yeah.
You're pretty serious about this, that's why I'm asking. This happened A very celebrated scientist was at a dinner and he was not grandly dressed or anything, he was looking very ordinary. So the lady who was, sitting next to him didn't pay much attention to him, she doesn't know who he is. But after some time, just to be polite, to make some conversation, "May I know what do you do?" He said, "I'm studying science." She said, "Oh, I finished that in my 10th class." So you're not going to, you're not in the last year of engineering, maybe the course, but not the last year of engineering, because for your entire life, if you learn engineering, when you're dying, after 100 years, okay? I'm not preponing it.
I hope so.
After 100 years when you're dying, you would still know, if you're a constant learning process, you would still know you know very little about engineering. With that little, many things happen, that's different. So don't be in the last year of engineering. I know the program may be closing, but not the last year of engineering, okay? So, essentially engineering means to have things the way we want. Yes? When we say this building is well engineered, I'm not saying that. If we say this building is well engineered or an automobile is well engineered, what it means is it's functioning the way we want. Yes? Of all the pieces of engineering on this planet, of many pieces of engineering, a tree is a fantastic engineering, even a mountain is fantastic engineering, because it stood there for 1,000,000 years, that means it must be good engineering, isn't it? Yes? Something that stands there for 1,000,000 years must be well engineered. Of all this, the most sophisticated piece of engineering is human mechanism, isn't it so? Hello? Most sophisticated of all the pieces of engineering. Now, because it's a sophisticated piece of engineering, it needs a certain level of attention, otherwise you don't figure it. Now that we gave you such a highly, high-tech piece of engineering, I'm asking you, did you read the user's manual?
I think there is no user manual for now.
How can they make such a fantastic piece of engineering without a user's manual? Maybe it doesn't come with a booklet attached to your neck when you were born. But indications must be there, isn't it, how to use it? Huh? Is it true somebody who's an athlete or a gymnast or someone else like that learns to use their body than a whole lot of other people? Yes? Obviously, at least one aspect of the physical engineering of the body, they seem to have read the user's manual about the physical aspects. Is it true certain people are able to use their mind better than others? Maybe they read another part of the user's manual. So, now with this heart manual and the brain manual, see, the problem is most people are prejudiced against the brain. This is a question that always comes to me, "Sadhguru, I want to meditate but thoughts are coming." The common question everywhere. I ask them, "See, I'll make you meditate. We will stop the liver, we'll stop the kidney, we'll stop the heart, we'll stop everything, okay?" "Oh, no, Sadhguru." So you want the liver to function when you're meditating, you want the kidneys to function, you want even the spleen to function, you want the heart to function, but you don't want your brain to function for some reason. This is simply because brain is a new equipment that you got in the evolutionary process. This level of cerebral development happened more recently compared to the other systems. If you cut open any mammal, they all have all these parts, isn't it? Every part that you have here, all of them have. Even if you open a frog, most of you, your biology department. Even if you open a frog, almost everything that you have, he also has, isn't it? It is only… the big difference is only the cerebral development, which is a more recent happening. Because it's a more recent happening, most people have not figured how to handle it. So, user's manual is very important. You don't read a user's manual just before you discard the machine. You read it in the first few days, isn't it? Hello? If you buy a phone, do you want to read the user's manual in the first 3 days or after 3 years when you're throwing it away? First 3 days, isn't it? So, knowing how this functions is very important. Never did ever heart generate any thought or intention. Well, when you looked at the young girl, heart beat more, that doesn't mean it's saying anything, it's just trying to compensate for the other levels of excitement that's happening. The heart is not trying to say anything, it is only compensating, you need more blood, so it's pumping little harder. That'll happen even if you run up the staircase. Yes? What happens to you little panting when you fall in love also happens physiologically when you run up a staircase, yes or no? Fear also does that to a whole lot of people. So, heart is not trying to say anything, it is just trying to make sure every part of the body gets the nourishment of blood flow. So, it's your brain speaking in different tongues. What's your native language? What's your mother tongue?
Assamese.
So, because when you know 2, 3 languages, sometimes it gets confused, sometimes it speaks in English, sometimes in Assamese, sometimes in something else. So you're thinking different people are speaking, heart is speaking, mind is speaking, no. There is thought and there is emotion. People think these two things are saying different things, they're not saying different things. The way you think is the way you emote, isn't it so? Right now, if I think, oh, she's the most wonderful person on the planet, I just have to think. Then my emotions become sweet towards her. Now I think she's the most horrible creature on the planet. Now my emotions become nasty. Yes or no? I cannot think she's horrible and have sweet emotions. I cannot think she's wonderful and have nasty emotions, isn't it so? But today, I thought she's the most wonderful person and my sweetness was flowing. Suddenly she did something tomorrow that I don't like. I think she's horrible. Thought is agile, it changes direction just like that. Emotion is little sappy. It takes time to turn around. So that period, you struggle as if there are 2 dimensions of thing happening. Because thought is saying one thing, emotion is still going sweet, because it takes time to become nasty. Everybody struggles, but it catches up or no after some time? Hello? Today you thought she's wonderful, sweetness was flowing, tomorrow she did something you don't like, you thought she's horrible, the thought is clearly saying she's horrible, but emotions are struggling because they can't turn quickly, they take time to turn. But after a week or 10 days or 2 months, depending on how deeply you're engaged, after some time, emotion catches up with the thought. Emotion also says, yes, she's horrible, so let's be nasty to her. So, they're not speaking different languages, one is agile, another is little slow in its corners. So, it looks like they're speaking different languages. When it comes to what you want to do, you must think clearly, it's very important. Thinking clearly means, the question is not about what will get me this, what will get me that. Is your life precious to you? All of you, I'm asking. Your life, is it precious to you? Yes. So before you invest this life into something, you must look whether today if I invest my life into this, After 25 years, will it still mean a lot to me? After 50 years, will it still mean a lot to me? At the end of my life, if I turn back and I look, will I be proud of this or will I be ashamed of what I'm doing right now? Doesn't matter what other people say. But you should not do anything that you will feel ashamed of, isn't it so? Huh? It doesn't matter, people say so many things. Everybody has an opinion, it's their business. But you don't do something that you will feel ashamed of, isn't it? Then you're turning against yourself. Somebody turns against you, you can leave them and go somewhere else. If you turn against yourself, you'll have to live with it forever. So, this is all you have to look at it. Something will get you money, something will get you comfort, that's not the point. What you choose to do, will it give you a life? When I say give you a life, are you just trying to make a living or are you trying to make a life out of this? This is important. Making a living is not an issue. A worm, an insect, a bird, an animal, all of them are making their life, making a living, isn't it so? They're even making a life out of it, but definitely they're making a living. So making a living with such a big brain is not an issue. Earning your food is not an issue, making a living is not an issue. Only problem is you want to live like somebody else, that's an endless problem. I want to live is not a problem. I want to live like you, this is a problem. So, it is important, if you consider your life as a precious life, you must make sure you make a wonderful life out of this. Whatever opens up in that direction, that is the thing you should do. But when you're under the pressure of peers, somebody is saying, I'm going to America, somebody says, I'm going to the government job, somebody says, I'm doing this. So one thing that all of you should do before you make big decisions in your life is withdraw from these pressures of peers, professors, parents, everybody. Just spend 3 days to 1 week by yourself. Look at it, what is it that you really want to do? Not under pressure from other people. What does this life want to do? Do that. It doesn't matter what other people think about it.